I kind of like, though, how that first issue pointed up why Superman isn't that in those sorts of things.
Yeah, but
it's not his territory.
It's not, but it's more like, I just think that him existing in this world is a problem.
Right. But
Of theme and of tone.
Just can't really figure out why why any of the other, what you know as DC, to show up in this particular comic.
Yeah.
And this is episode 48 of the Webcomic Beacon Presents first issue.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Melissa.
And this is Vampire.
Well, thank God they're not zombies.
Yeah, well, then again, vampires are kind of the new hotness, too.
They're both in there. But
Are they?
As far as comics go, there are far fewer...
Twilight and... I mean, the whole Twilight phenomenon probably explains why this is so angsty.
Well, and also
look at the angst.
I mean, he's borderline glittery.
Well, the thing is, he's the kid who plays the werewolf in the pose of the kid who plays a vampire.
But he is also the vampire.
Well, he is in this one. But
Well,
I mean
actually,
like,
in this comic, vampires are kind of also, they can turn into lycanthropes, which I understand that...
I mean, that was established in Dracula, really.
Yeah, classically they can turn into wolves. I don't know about that crinoform fucking... Werewolf the Apocalypse fucking thing that he turned into, but...
we don't know much about, or care about, various vampire lore.
Well,
I'm wondering why vampire lore would enable this woman to wear only body paint.
That has to be what she's wearing. Why does he get pants and then she get tattoo underwear?
I mean, because this is not for gay men or for women. This is for men.
What I do appreciate is
weird.
At least this is equal opportunity.
To a degree, he's still wearing
almost
pants.
equal opportunity. He's still wearing pants.
He's still wearing pants, but
and
honestly, can go a long way.
And honestly, those are tight pants, but honestly, there's nothing to leave to the imagination.
Slung thing.
There is nothing to leave to the imagination, and unfortunately, you will need a lot of imagination for this guy in these tight pants.
Yeah, he doesn't have any bulge there.
There's not really much anything there.
Yeah, he's got that Ken doll thing.
It's kind of a sort of a boring... The background is they're standing in nothing.
It's just it's to invoke the feeling of Twilight, the high blues everywhere.
There are some nice design elements to this cover. I do kind of like the thready thing, and the bats are added in the background, kind of as a pattern.
But they're not. They're standing on nothing of an infinite background.
Well, it's kind of Art Deco. I mean,
I can see that.
The lines around them kind of evoke that Art Deco.
I think they're actually symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, anyway.
Yeah,
it has design elements that are worth noting.
Yeah.
But if you're not into vampires, you're not going to pick this.
Yeah, you have to love vampires.
That is probably true. So, are any of us into vampires?
Hell no.
Not really.
If it's not Let the Right One In,
not currently anyway.
Yeah.
Or Interview with a Vampire, I'm not really interested.
So we're in Boston now, I guess, maybe. And we get some alternating coloring narration.
Which is really close in color and is hard to tell apart.
Those supposed to be two different people talking?
Yes. There's
no
red
wonder
and
I
there's
was
pink.
No wonder I was so confused. I thought it was one person talking to themselves. I was doing a Gollum.
Yeah.
I was kind of excited.
If you're colorblind, actually, if you're colorblind, you will have a problem with this comic.
Yeah, if you're colorblind, don't pick it up.
But we get whoever's doing the inks really has some. Is really doing some interesting things with the inks.
The art, Andrea Sorrentino. First of all, female artist. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Second of all, there is a lot of personality to this art, and it's very nice.
It looks really good. I mean, I really had a good time looking at this.
Yeah, but reading it?
That's different. I love this guy's just sort of lazily laying there, but his voice is, no! Like,
well, he just got up from laying there. So
shouldn't he be like, no? Or maybe his mouth should be open. That would help.
Maybe.
I can. Well, anyway, aside from nitpicking, we have this guy in this area with a bunch of fucking bodies everywhere. This really cool looking background, and he's basically killing vampires. Mm-hmm. Then we cut back to a scene with a guy and a girl, just kind of being emo.
They're doing
this is a very angsty comic.
Yeah,
and evaporating, I guess.
That's a classical power.
I guess, yeah, they're able to evaporate. And then we cut back to Mad Max, just kind of very dusty, blistery city area.
Jesus, makes so much more sense now that I see the difference between the two.
There is so much. The art is very good at evoking this
desolate sort of atmosphere.
I thought it was post-apocalyptic. Like I really didn't think of this as being in the same time period as the rest of the DC 52. And as I was saying before we started recording, I really hope it's not.
Well, yeah, actually, so he comes across this woman who's coming to us like, oh, why is my skin burning? Because it's the sun or whatever, and it's...
Yeah.
And we get an establishment, this is the type of vampire that just gets weak in the sun, not just goes...
Yeah, it's the same type of vampire they had in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Where, that way you can actually have a narrative that includes the characters, for example, I don't know, blending into society, because they don't die in sunlight, they can come out, but they're no stronger than, a normal person.
So, we have this, the lady is like, no, it's not true, that's impossible! And then she suddenly turns into a freaking wolf dog, and it lunges at him, and he turns into a Nosferatu, and like...
Well, that's more of
That's a Krynos form.
That's a wolf man.
Yes,
Alright, and then just like
wolf,
back off,
but a wolf
bitch.
man.
To be very nice, you could say he turned into a Sasquatch, that's also the Jersey Devil.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's the closest thing to saying without calling him a fucking werewolf, that's what he looks like.
Yeah. So
and to be fair, the original Dracula has Dracula turning into all sorts of creatures.
Oh yeah,
bats and wolves.
Bats and wolves. Well,
this is
normal wolves, yes.
Yeah.
Giant monster werewolves that look just like the Wolfman from Universal Pictures, not quite so
not
often.
So we got a couple of different storylines going on at the same time as we cut back to the girl and the guy kind of being emo, and he's all like, well, we can't be killing humans, and she's like, why the fuck not? And he's like, they're food.
It's the same thing that happens anytime two vampires with opposing viewpoints get together.
Ever since Vampire Lestat, it's...
They always do that.
Actually, long before that.
Yeah, you really can't help but have that conversation, because if you don't, then it really... What the hell else do you do with vampires?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we cut back to the other scene. Basically, it was this, this guy's out hunting he's hunting vampires. But, and it turns out that it was this big thing that was sprung up on him. He's chasing this person that's going on and just making fucking vampires all over the place. And joke's on him, and this is like a really cool sort of like a zombie sort of feel scene here, where it's like, oh, they were all playing dead, actually. They weren't all just bodies that were just dead. They were all like alive zombies lying in wait, and they're just gonna so you got this real creepy scene here, and it's like, it's a lot creepier because they're zombies. They're not zombies,
they're vampires,
but they're kind of like, you got that feel.
The Horde,
horde of vampires, and they're going to go after this guy, and you got a decent chase scene here, and this is where the ink really shows some dynamic flow. And then again, we cut back to the other scene of the emo people being emo, having conflicting terms, though, but he still really loves her, sort of, kind of, angst and emo, the kids are gonna love this.
It's the thing. It's the vampire thing. Like, every vampire book is someone's first vampire book. Yeah. I'm sure to someone this isn't tired at all.
Right. And so the vampire hunter is basically running for his life, and then a subway car comes up, and oh shit, the subway car's full of people. And it's like
Soylent Green.
Yeah, and the vampires. God damn it! The vampires are like, well, fuck yeah, we're gonna take these people. It's like, no, you can't do that. Yeah. But so you basically got a couple of storylines going on in here, and I'm not sure if you get the sense of if they take place at the same time or at different time periods.
When I was reading it, I think I believed that The vampire hunter was the same guy talking to the girl in the other scenes.
That's the impression that I got.
That's what I think, but the narration doesn't tell you.
Yeah, it's not clear.
Yeah.
It's really a hard book to read. The art is beautiful, and I think the art is just fine. I think the lettering has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
The letterer is trying to do a lot with colors and different fonts, but it's too much, and you lose what's going on.
So, does this succeed or fail as number one?
I'm going to say fail, just because I had a very hard time following the story. I'm giving it the caveat of it's a very pretty book to look at. You might want to pick it up just to look at it. But as just storytelling, I think the lettering has a lot of problems, and the writing is tired, and yeah. Yeah,
I would go between fail and meh. Meh if this is your first... Oh, no, meh, okay. This is your first vampire thing. Because the problems that come up with understanding quite what's going on. Like, I literally couldn't tell if the vampire hunter was a vampire who could just transform into this monster, or if he was supposed to be a werewolf. Either one was just sort of annoying to me, and I was like, well, okay, this is yet another, fucking stolen idea. It's not like the people who pick this up will be unfamiliar with Twilight. Whether they like it or dislike it, they'll either be familiar with Twilight, World of Darkness from White Wolf, or Underworld. One of those three things that have vampires and werewolves, and you kind of get the gist of what these creatures are like. Period. The characters I couldn't quite figure out because, like I said, I didn't realize, reading this entire book, that there were supposed to be two different people speaking in those captions. Mm-hmm. I thought it was one person fucking losing their mind. And I thought it was interesting, because I didn't know who the fuck it was, and I figured it would be the mastermind who would pop up at the end or something, and had been talking to themselves the whole time. No. It's supposed to be two different people. That's not good. Yeah. That shouldn't happen. And if you are already familiar, like intimately familiar with any sort of vampire lore of any kind, even if it's just Twilight, then this is going to come across as tired. If this is your first vampire book, it's a meh. If this is not your first vampire media whatsoever, it's a fail.
I have to give this a meh as well. Did you say fail or meh?
I said fail. Okay,
I have to give this a meh then.
Are you literally just like tailoring your things to give us an average?
No, not really. No, honestly not. Your thoughts give me an additional perspective from mine. And for this, but usually I go, not really. I need time to think. That's why I let you guys go first. I do have to get this a meh because
I didn't realize you were so malleable.
This is a meh, okay?
Okay.
Now, this comic, the reason why I can't give it a succeeds is because there are two storylines going on here. It's not clear that they're supposed to be linked, though I think they are. And I think that's what they're trying to get across if you go by the red speech balloon and look at the narration as well. That it makes a little bit of sense. It's kind of a stretch, but shut up, I'm trying to do this. And it seems like elements are there if you're into like vampire stuff. To me, this is very boring. I'm not interested at all in this. It seems to have a lot of potential. In fact, if they cut out all the emo shit between the boy and the girl and just had a story about like this guy walking across a desolate wasteland or city just a vampire, that sounds like a more interesting story. There seems to be some potential in here that does interest me, which is why I can't give it a fail, because that little bit almost seemed to be enough. It was just drugged down by these other two, which didn't really connect well with the other scene. It could have been a lot better, but that's my opinion. But that is Vampire, #1 from DC Comics.